2, 1.
Hi, boys and girls. We miss you. My name is Mrs. Holden.
I'm Miss Jones.
And it's Miss Wilson.
Today, we're going to read about Mae Jemison. And on the side, you see a quote here by Dr. Mae Jemison. Don't let anyone rob you of your imagination, your creativity, or your curiosity. Meaning, boys and girls, you do not allow anyone to tear your dream apart or to make you believe that you cannot do it, that you will not be anyone special, and you are all special to us.
Miss Holden, what are we going to be doing today?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you asked. So for today, you are going to be able to listen and read about an astronaut, and her name is Mae Jemison. And with whatever we read, boys and girls, we're going to be able to put those events of her life in sequence, okay? I'm going to put it up. And as you can see, boys and girls, there are important words that are highlighted, such as her name, Mae Jemison, as she's an astronaut, and we are going to sequence the events of her life in a timeline, boys and girls, putting them in sequential order. We will review our vocabulary words that we have here, boys and girls. Our first word, aeronautics, the study or practice of flight and aircraft. As you can see here, boys and girls, a picture of jets and airplanes. They are traveling through the air, Engineering, the study and work of using science, knowledge, and methods to solve problems in the world today. This guy over here, he is studying, he is solving problems to make this plane better. Pursue. Oh my goodness, we all pursued a career in education to do what it takes to accomplish something. All of you guys can pursue your dream to become whatever you want as long as you put your best effort. Refugees, people who flee to other countries for protection or safety. Some of these people that flee to different countries, they're not safe and they don't feel protected, and they will go to different places to feel safe. Tragedy, a very sad event or disaster. Recently, boys and girls, last month in March, we all here in Nashville experienced some tragedy, and that was through a tornado that went through Nashville, and we all were victims of that tragedy, okay? Well, boys and girls, I want you to really listen to those vocabulary words as we are reading and focus and see how all of these things relate to one another in this read aloud.
Okay, boys and girls, so like Miss Holden said, we are going to be learning about Dr. Mae Jemison today. And I think you guys know a little bit about her. During Black History Month, we talked about her a lot at school. And so now we're getting to read about her, which is super cool. But I want to talk one thing. In the very first sentence, it says, do you know what a role model is? I want you to give you like 5 seconds. I want you to think about what a role model is. Miss Wilson and Miss Holden, do you guys have a role model?
I do. You know what?
Who is yours?
Mine is a 3rd grade teacher by the name of Veronica Michelle Hawkins. She inspired me to be a teacher, and I am grateful for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Wilson?
I have a role model that I had in college, and her name was Dr. Harris, and she was so inspiring. She told us about her life story and just how she overcame a lot of difficulties growing up, but how she ended up succeeding and even going to Harvard. And I looked up to her because her whole life story is inspiring.
That's awesome. I have, and the kiddos in 3rd grade know about this, I have a role model. I just recently read her book in the fall, and she became a big role model for me, and that was Michelle Obama. I really enjoyed her story. Her book was amazing. She's incredibly smart, powerful woman, and I just really enjoyed reading about her. So that's my role model. So guys, follow along on the screen as we read about Dr. Mae Jemison, who is a role model and an astronaut that we're going to learn lots about today. Remember, we're going to be sequencing some events in order, so be thinking about all the things that happened in her life. Do you know what a role model is? A role is someone who sets an example for others by the way he or she lives. Many students admire people who are famous athletes, movie stars, or singers and use them as role models. They see them on TV, in newspapers, and in magazines, and decide they want to be like them. But some of the best role models are people that you would probably not see on TV or in newspapers. They have jobs such as doctors, teachers, or policemen. Some are scientists and astronauts. One such person is Mae Jemison. Miss Wilson, would you like to read this page?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Mae Jemison was born October 17, 1956 in Decatur, Alabama. Her family moved into Chicago, Illinois when she was young. Mae also took great pride in her schoolwork. She was interested in science, but was also interested in the arts. She finished high school early at age 16. From there, she went to Stanford University in California. Most college students focus on only one topic of study because college is so challenging. May focused and excelled in two topics of study, chemical engineering and African American studies. After Stanford, May entered medical school to become a doctor. She wanted to use her medical training to help people in Africa and countries where people were poor. She also joined the Peace Corps as a volunteer. Healthcare in Africa was often not very good. May treated patients and also helped train other healthcare workers. She worked hard to help improve healthcare in the countries where she worked. And when I'm reading that, a question comes to mind. The question is, I want you to think about it. Take about 3 to 5 seconds to think about it. Why do you think Dr. Jemison makes a good role model? All right. If you answer, Dr. Jemison worked hard in school, she finished early, she studied 2 subjects in college, and joined the Peace Corps to use her medical training to help people in Africa and countries where people were poor.
Absolutely. I love that, Miss Wilson. After the Peace Corps, May came back to the United States. She set her sights on a different goal. Her greatest dream was to become an astronaut and travel into space. She decided to apply to NASA to become an astronaut. But the first time she applied, she was not accepted. Instead of giving up, she tried again and NASA accepted her the second time. She was one of only 15 people chosen from a group of 2,000 people who wanted to become astronauts. Her training to become an astronaut was hard. She had to get into great shape and train to get used to being free of the effects of gravity in space. She also had to study and pass many tests about space travel. Mae Jemison succeeded in both. So I have a question for you guys. I wonder why it's so hard to train to be an astronaut. I want you to look back at that page and I want you to find 1 or 2 pieces of text evidence that tells you why it's hard to become an astronaut and what makes the training hard. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to think about that. So if you look at the bottom paragraph, it says her training to become an astronaut was hard. Reason number 1, they have to be free of the effects of gravity, so they've got to be in great shape and they have to train so their bodies are used to it. Number 2, I don't think they'll just send anybody into space. You've got to study and pass lots of tests about space travel in order to know all the things that you need to do. And you can see a picture on this page, an experiment in which Mae Jemison is studying the effects of weightlessness, which is pretty cool to see. Miss Wilson, would you like to read this page?
I'll be happy to.
Absolutely.
1982, May was chosen for a mission on the Endeavour space shuttle. A rocket launched the Endeavour into orbit around Earth. May became the first African-American female astronaut in space. The mission was to study the effects of weightlessness on planets and animals. May conducted experiments during the mission with fellow astronaut Jane Davis. They collected information that the scientists at NASA could study. The mission was a great success. After her successful mission, May retired from NASA. She became a professor at Dartmouth College, sharing her love of science and space with other students. She also started her own company called the Jemison Group Incorporated. May's company continues to work with people in poor countries, searching for ways that science can help improve these people's lives. May Jemison is truly a role model that we can all admire. And I have a special question. That question is, what is the most important fact about Dr. Jemison serving on the Endeavour? I want you to think about that for about 5 seconds and think about what we've read and what do you think is the most important fact about why Dr. Jemison serving on the Endeavour was so important. If you said the important fact was Dr. Jemison became the first African-American female astronaut in space, then you are absolutely correct.
Miss Holden, I think you have some extra questions for us.
Yes, boys and girls. That was a lovely read aloud. I learned so much more about her, just like a really good refresher. Boys and girls, what you think about this? What kind of international work did Jemison do to help people around the world? What you think about that? What were some things that she was able to do international world that she was able to help people around the world?
Miss Holden, because I use my text evidence, boys and girls are
I like that.
about that text evidence. I'm going to go back a few pages because I remember reading about that. I'm going to look at that second paragraph and use my text evidence to answer your question. So Miss Holden, to answer your question, she helped people internationally around the world, and follow my cursor, boys and girls. She wanted to use her medical training to help people in Africa and countries where people were poor. So she joined the Peace Corps as a volunteer. Healthcare in Africa was often not very good. May treated patients and also helped train other healthcare workers. Worked hard to help improve healthcare in the countries where she worked. So she went from America to Africa in the Peace Corps and worked in healthcare.
Good job. Thank you. Boys and girls, I hope you saw and noticed how Ms. Jones used text evidence to answer those questions. She didn't just go off the top of her head. She went back for proof to justify why and how May Jemison was helpful, how she was a role model to those people outside of America, which was in Africa. Awesome job. Thank you for using your text evidence, Ms. Jones. Now, boys and girls, something I want you to do, you remember our learning target states that we're going to put her lives in sequence, right? And right here, the events of May Jemison's lives is listed below in the wrong order. So we, the teachers, we need your help, boys and girls, we need your help. We're going to give you some time to look at this list of 7 events, and you're going to place these events in order. Okay, in the correct order from number 1 to number 7. 1 being the first thing that happened, and 7 is the last things that occurred in Jemison's life. Okay, go ahead. We'll give you a few minutes.
So guys, what you can do right now is you can go and you can push the pause button on your YouTube screen and do it. And then when you're ready, push the play button. We'll see you in a second. Okay, Ms. Holden, are you ready to go over some of these answers?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, what do you guys want to do? You guys want to do the first one, or you guys want us to go with the first event that has ever occurred?
We should do the first event that has occurred ever.
All right. The first event that occurred based on this list was she graduated from high school at the age of 16. At the age of 16, we're going to write number 1 next to that one. Oh, Miss Wilson, can you guess the second one?
I'm thinking
I'll help you out. She
Give
attended
me a hint.
university.
She attends Stanford University.
Yes, that is correct. She attended Stanford University. That is number 2. Number 3, boys and girls, she went off to medical school.
Woo-hoo!
Whoop, 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 whoop. We're all going to be something great in life. All right, number 4, she joins the Peace Corps and goes to where? Africa.
Africa.
That is a great way that she was a role model and she was able to help people with the knowledge that she has built. Number 5 is one of the 15 people chosen out of 2,000 applicants to be an astronaut. That is major, 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 major. And she worked hard to get there. Number 6, she becomes the first African-American female astronaut to go into space, boys and girls. I hope you guys are following along and you guys got some of these correct. And the last one, she retires from NSAS and becomes a professor. She retired from NASA and becomes a professor, boys and girls. She worked with NASA. Thank you so much, boys and girls. Wow, that was pretty fun to put her lives.
That was fun.
In order.
Yes.
Thing we want to leave you guys with. We learned a lot about Mae Jemison, right? We want you to find someone at home, any adult, or it could be your siblings, your sister, brother, uncle, granny, grandpa, anyone. We want you to share this information. Find someone in your family to share the important things of Mae Jemison and how she was a role model. And then you can also ask them, hey, Nana, Papa, who's your role model? Sister, brother, who is your role model? And we'll be looking forward to hear who was their role model. Okay, boys and girls? We look forward to seeing you. And thank you, boys and girls, for your time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.